Well, hello again. This is Adam Estep coming at you with another video about book discussion groups for partners that are forming those groups at Linglestown Life. For what on earth am I here for? Coming this fall to Linglestown Life. Now, we've already have several videos that maybe you have seen already. The general video, the hosting video, the book discussion video. This final video, I'm afraid this area of communication might get a little neglected in favor of some of these other bigger areas, the areas that might receive a little more attention, a little more focus. And so I really wanted to hit on this area of communication, because this is what's going to make, I think in many ways, allow us to sustain what it is we create here, what God creates through us here at this fall with What on Earth Am I Here For? Groups at Linglestown Life. Because again, our goal not only is for you to really get tight with folks during this study, that God reveals a lot of great information about the purpose of your life, but also that we can then again keep these groups going after we have closed the book on What on Earth Am I Here For? And so this is about communication. Communication is big. I mean, we hear about it all the time in terms of marriage and all sorts of different things, how important communication is. And so we want to make sure that our communication channels are open, are effective, are efficient, are working. And so we want to make sure that we're communicating together, whether within your group or between your group and the church and your group. And so you need to figure out within your partnership, okay, who's going to be the point of contact within your group, okay? When somebody decides, I can't be there, okay, who are they going to get in touch with and tell them, we can't be there this week, something came up, our kids are sick, a grandparent passed away or something, and I hope that doesn't happen. But things happen, life happens, and so, we need to make sure there's a point of contact. Also, for me and the church, that we can get in touch with you as we hear some different things, some people that have some tips and tricks maybe that we've learned as we actually go through this over the first couple of weeks, that we can get in touch with and pass this on. And so we need that point of contact. Who is going to be that point of contact? It can, ultimately, originally it's probably going to have to come from this partnership that forms this group, but perhaps down the road, as the study goes on, as you continue on after What on Earth Am I Here For? This is something that could pretty easily be delegated to somebody who has a little more type A personality, who's gonna, who's organized, has some gifts of administration, and can really handle this. And maybe they don't necessarily want to or don't feel qualified to facilitate conversation. Maybe they don't really feel like they have a home they could really host, but somebody could do this. They can send emails, they can send texts, they can call, those kind of things. And so this can be something that maybe is delegated to somebody down the road. Now, some things you're going to want to do to make this happen. Okay, you're going to want to gather information. Communication is information applied, okay? And so you need to gather some information. The first thing you want to get is a phone number, okay? In this grand age of social media and Facebook and Twitter, we still need to have phone numbers. Yes, we still need to have phone numbers, because sometimes things aren't immediate and a phone number can be. And so you want to make sure you get people's phone numbers, get their cell phone numbers if something needs to happen or change at the last minute. So that's really important, especially, if you're dealing with couples, make sure you get cell phones for both parts of the couple, and that you have all the information, all the phone numbers. Make sure then you can filter that up to us at the church, because then we can make sure we have that as well if something happens and helpful to us. And that goes the same for all the information you should be targeting. So you want a phone number, you want an email address. Now, email isn't quite as fast or quite, but it is something that's important if you want to communicate details. Written word is probably the best way to communicate details to folks. if somebody is going to be changing if something changes at the last minute, somebody can't host this week, so we're going here. Might be better to email that address or texting, which is another important reason why you need to have phone numbers, especially cell phone numbers. And as you gather that information, I did forget to mention that you might want to make sure and ask, is it okay if we text? Because some information is just better in written form. And that's why, again, email is going to be important. And then also, finally, gather some social media. If you really want to make relationships and really kind of form tight relationships, really want to get to know people beyond just, the hour or two you get together each week, social media is going to be pretty important. Find out if they're on Facebook. Send them a friend request. Follow them on Twitter. All sorts of different things. That's a great way to touch base with folks throughout the week, and just to sort of say, just want to check in and see how you were doing, that sort of thing. And so, and it's not as intimidating per se as necessarily might be a phone call. If somebody has a prayer request about a job interview, and if you don't really know them real well, but you might want to check in with them. So you don't really feel like a phone call might be going a little too far. But if you have their Twitter or Facebook or something like that, you could send them a message and just say, just remembered you had that interview today. Hope it went well. Just wanted to check in. So that's real important as well. So again, 3 main things: their phone numbers. Make sure you get home phone numbers, cell phone numbers. Ask if they text. Email addresses. Make sure whether it's for whether it's a home. Work, make sure, if they don't want to be emailed at work, make sure to tell them, don't give us your work email address then. If you don't want to be emailed at work, Twitter, and then your social media, your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all sorts of different things out there. Final bit about communication here is we're in the midst of needing to do something a little bit new as well, and that is tracking attendance. And so we want to know who's coming and when they come. This is actually something that the conference has asked us to do. If you're unfamiliar with our Methodist system, we have churches. Churches make up districts, and districts make up conferences. And so we are, our group is. Our conference covers from the Maryland border to the New York border, and so we have this conference office that asks us and oversees some different things. And so they asked us to start really keeping better track of attendance in terms of small group. And while it'd be easy just to put down a number of people attended. For us, if we're really going to use this information wisely, it would be great for us to know who's attending, so we know who's in which small group. So we know if something happens, or we know the makeup of a small group, and somebody comes to us, somebody indicates on a response card, I'd like to know about small groups. Then we know, okay, these people are in this group and they kind of fit this demo, or these people are in this small group and they live near each other, and we have that information to get them into a good group that's going to fit them and be a good fit for everyone. And so that's real important for us, if you can get that attendance. And we're going to talk about, we're still figuring out how we're going to do that, but that is coming, and I wanted to let you know about that. Again, as we kind of wrap up this video here, communication is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial for our long-term sustainability of our groups here. But the problem is it can often be overlooked, and we don't want that to happen. So make sure that somebody is caring for communication, overseeing that for us. Let us know who that is, and we're going to be communicating great together, making sure you have what you need, we have what we need, and we're really having a great relationship as we grow here in the coming months for What on Earth Am I Here For in these book discussion groups at Linglestown Life. And that's all I have for you this time. Make sure you check out the other videos. Check out the links on YouTube, if you're on YouTube below, or on our church website, linglestownlife.org. And we hope you find these helpful. Keep an eye out. Coming up video in a couple weeks here is going to be what's next. So what do we do next as we look towards wrapping up What on Earth Am I Here For and moving on. So look for all these things. Hope you find these helpful, and we'll see you sometime at Linglestown Life.